Hi everyone, welcome back. Section 64 of the Adi Parva, Adi Vansavatra Parv continued. Janmejay said, O Brahman, those thou hast named and those thou hast not named, I wish to hear of them in detail, as also of other kings by thousands. And, O thou of great good fortune, it behoveth thee to tell me in full the object for which those Maharathas, equal unto the celestials themselves, were born on earth. Vaishampayan said, It hath been heard by us, O monarch, what thou askest is a mystery even to the gods. I shall, however, speak of it unto thee after bowing down to the self-born, the son of Jamadagni, Parshuram, after 21 times making the earth bereft of Kshatriyas, wended to that best of mountains, Mahendra, and there began his ascetic penance. And at that time, when the earth was bereft of Kshatriyas, the Kshatriya ladies, desirous of offsprings, used to come, O monarch, to the Brahmins, and the Brahmins of rigid vows had connections with them during the womanly season alone, but never, O king, lustfully and out of season. And Kshatriya ladies by thousands conceived from such connections with Brahmins. And then, O monarch, were born many Kshatriyas of great energy, boys and girls, so that the Kshatriya race might thrive. And thus sprang the Kshatriya race from the Kshatriya ladies by Brahmins of ascetic penance. And the new generation, blessed with long life, began to thrive in virtue. And thus were the four orders having Brahmins as their head re-established. And every man at that time went unto his wife during her season, and never from lust and out of season. And O bull of Bharata race, in the same way, other creatures also, even those born in the race of birds, went in unto their wives during the season alone. And O protector of the earth, hundreds of thousands of creatures were born, and all were virtuous and began to multiply in virtue, all being free from sorrow and disease. And O thou of the elephant's thread, this wide earth having the ocean for her boundaries, with her mountains and woods and towns, was once more governed by the Kshatriyas. And when the earth began to be again governed virtuously by the Kshatriyas, the other orders having Brahmanas for their first were filled with great joy. And the kings, giving up on all vices born of lust and anger, and justly awarded punishments to those that deserved them, protected the earth. And he of 100 sacrifices, possessed also of 1,000 eyes, beholding the Kshatriya monarchs, ruled so virtuously, poured down vilifying showers at proper times, and placed the blessings on all creatures. Then, O king, no one of immature years died, and none knew a woman before attaining to age. And thus, O bull of the Bharata race, the earth, to the very coasts of the ocean, became filled with men that were all long lived. The Kshatriyas performed great sacrifices, bestowing much wealth, and the Brahmanas also all studied the Vedas with their branches and the Upanishads. And O king, no Brahmin in those days ever sold the Vedas, that is, taught for money, or ever read aloud the Vedas in the presence of a Shudra. The Vaishya, with the help of bullocks, caused the earth to be tilled, and they never yoked the cattle for themselves. And they fed with care all cattle that was lean. The men never milked kine as long as the calves drank only the milk of their dams, without having taken to grass or any other food. And no merchant in those days ever sold his articles by false scales. And O tiger amongst men, all persons holding to the ways of the virtue did everything with the eyes set upon virtue. And O monarch, all the orders were mindful of their own respective duties. Thus, O tiger amongst men, virtue in those days never sustained any diminution. And O bull of Bharata race, both kine and women gave birth to their offsprings at the proper time. And trees bore fruits and flowers duly according to the season. And thus, O king, the Krita age, having then duly set in, the whole earth was filled with numerous creatures. And O bull of Bharata race, when such was the blessed state of the terrestrial world, the Asuras, O lord of men, began to be born in kingly lines, and the sons of Dhriti, Daityas, being repeatedly defeated in wars by the sons of Aditi, the celestials, and deprived also of sovereignty in heaven, began to be incarcerated on the earth. And O king, the Asuras, being possessed of great power and desirous of sovereignty, began to be born on earth amongst various creatures, such as kine, horses, asses, camels, buffaloes, amongst creatures such as Rakshasas and others, and amongst elephants and of heavens. Some were born on the earth as kings of great pride and insolence. Possessed of great energy, they covered the earth in various shapes. Capable of oppressing all foes, they filled the earth, having the oceans for their boundaries. And by their strength, they began to oppress the Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas and Shudras and all other creatures also. Terrifying and killing all creatures, they traversed the earth, O king, in bands of hundreds and thousands. Devoid of truth and virtue, proud of their strength, and intoxicated with the wine of insolence, they even insulted the great rishis in their hermitages. And the earth, thus oppressed by the mighty Asuras, endued with great strength and energy, and possessed of abundant means, began to think of wanting and waiting on Brahman. The united strength of the creatures, such as the Shesha, the tortoise, and the huge elephant, and of many Sheshas too, became capable of supporting the earth with the mountains, burdened as she was with the weight of the Danavas. And then, O king, the earth, oppressed with weight and afflicted with fear, sought the protection of the grandsire of all creatures. And she beheld the divine Brahman, the creator of the worlds, who knoweth no deterioration, surrounded by the gods, Brahmanas, and great rishis of exceeding good fortune, and adorned by delighted Gandharvas and Apsaras, always engaged in service of the celestials. And the earth, desirous of protection, then represented everything to him in the presence of O Bharata of the regions of the world. But, O king, the earth's object had been known beforehand to the omniscient, self create, and supreme Lord. And O Bharata, creator as he is of the universe, why should he not know fully what is in the mind of his creatures, including the very gods and the asuras? The king, the lord of the earth, the creator of all creatures, also called Isha Shambhu Prajapati, then spake unto her. And Brahmana said, O holder of wealth, of the accomplishments of the object of which thou hast approached me, I shall appoint all the dwellers in the heavens. Vaishampayan continued, having said so unto the earth, O king, the divine Brahman bade her farewell. And the Creator then commanded all the gods, saying, to ease the earth of her burden, go ye and have your births in her according to your respective paths, and seek, ye strive, with the asuras already born there, and the creators of all, summoning also all the tribes of the Gandharvas and the Apsaras, spake unto them these words of deep import. Go ye and be born amongst men, according to your respective paths, in forms that ye like. And all the gods with Indra, on hearing these words of the Lord of the Celestials, words that were true, desirable, and under the circumstances, and fraught with benefit, accepted them. And they all, having resolved to come down on earth in their respective paths, then went to Narayan, the slayer of all foes, at Vaikuntha, and the one who has the discus and the mace in his hands, who is clad in purple, who is of great splendor, and who hath the lotus on his navel, who is the slayer of the foes of God, and who is of eyes looking down upon his white chest in yoga attitude, who is Lord of Prajapati himself, the sovereign of all the gods, of mighty strength, who hath the mark of the auspicious whirl on his breast, who is the mover of every one's faculties, and who is adorned by all gods. Him Indra, the most exalted of persons, addressed, saying, Be incarnate. And Hari replied, Let it be. Section 65. Sambhava Parva. Vaishampayan said, Then Indra had a consultation with Narayan about the latter's descent on earth from heaven with all the gods according to their respective paths. And having commanded all the dwellers in heaven, Indra returned from the abode of Narayan. And the dwellers in heaven gradually became incarnate on earth for the destruction of the asuras and for the welfare of the three worlds. And then, O tiger amongst kings, the celestials had their births according as they pleased, in the races of Brahma rishis and royal sages. And they slew the Danavas, Rakshasas, Gandharvas, and snakes, other man eaters, and many other creatures. And O bull in the Bharata race, the Danavas, Rakshasas, and Gandharvas and snakes could not slay the incarnate celestials, even in their infancy, so strong they were. Janmejay said, I desire to hear from the beginning the births of the gods, the Danavas, the Gandharvas, the Apsaras, men, Yakshas, and Rakshasas. Therefore, it behoveth thee to tell me about the births of all creatures. Vaishampayan said, Indeed, I shall, having bowed down to the self-create, tell thee in detail the origin of the celestials and other creatures. It is known that Brahman had 6 principal gods, that is, Marichi, Atri, Angiras, Palastyas, Pulas, and Kratu. And the Marichi's son is Kashyap, and from Kashyap has sprung these creatures. Unto Daksha, one of the Prajapatis, were born 13 daughters of great good fortune. The daughters of Daksha are, O tiger amongst men and prince of the Bharata race, Aditi, Diti, Danu, Kala, Danayu, Sinhika, Krodha, Prada, Vishwa, Vinata, Kapila, Muni, and Kadru. The sons and grandsons of these, gifted with great energy, are countless. From Aditi has sprung amongst the 12 Adityas, who are the lords of the universe. And, O Bharata, they are according to their names. I shall recount them to thee. They are Dhatri, Mitra, Aryaman, Shakra, Varuna, Ansa, Vaga, Vivasvat, Usha, Savita, Tavastri, and Vishnu. The youngest, however, is superior to them all in merit. Diti had one son called Hiranyakashipu, and the illustrious Hiranyakashipu had 5 sons, all famous throughout the world. The eldest of them all was Prahlad. The next was Sharada. The third, Anuhrada, and after him was Shivi and Vashkala. And O Bharata, it is known everywhere that Prahlada had 3 sons. They were Vimochana, Kumbha, and Nikumbha. And into Virochan was born a son, Vali, of great prowess. And the son of Vali was known to be the great Asura Vana. And blessed with great fortune, Vana was the follower of Rudra and was known also by the name of Mahakal. And Danu had 40 sons, O Bharata. The eldest of them all was Viprachiti of great Samvara and Namuchi and Puloman, Asiloman and Kashi and Durjaya. Ayahasrisyas, Ashwinaras, and the powerful Ashwasanku. Also, Ganga Mardana and Vegavat, he called Ketumat. Swarbhanu, Ashwa, Ashwapati, Virishaparna and Ajaka, and Ashwagriva and Susukshma and Tuhunda of the great strength. Ekapada, Ekachakra, Virupaksha, Mahodara, Nichandra, Nikumbha, Kupata, and then Kapata. Sarabha, Sulabha, Surya, and then Chandramas. These in the race of Danu are stated to be well known. The Suryas and Chandramas, the sun and the moon of the celestials, are other persons and not the sons of Danu as mentioned above. The following 10, gifted with the great strength and vigor, were also, O king, born in the race of Danu. Ekakaksha, Amrittapa, of heroic courage. Pralamya and Naraka. Natrapi, Shatrutapana, and Shatha, the great Asuras. Gavistha and Vanayu and the Danava called Dirgadvija. And of Bharata, the sons of the grandsons of these were known to be countless. The Sihikas gave birth to Rahu, the prosecutor of the sun and the moon, and to 3 others, Suchandra, Chandrahantri, and Chandra Brahmahadarna, and the countless progeny of Krura, of Krodha, were as crooked and wicked as herself, and the tribe was wrathful of crooked deeds and persecutors of their foes. And the Nayu also had 4 sons who were bulls among the Asuras. They were Vishara, Vala, Veera, and Vrita, the great Asura. And the sons of Kala were all like Yama himself and smitter of all foes. And they were of great energy and oppressor of all foes. And the sons of Kala were Vinasana and Krodha, and then Krodantri and Krodasatru, and there were many others amongst the sons of Kala. And Shukra, the son of a rishi, was the chief priest of the Asuras. And the celebrated Shukra had 4 sons who were priests of the Asuras. and they were Tashadhantra and Atri, and two others of fierce deeds. They were like the sun himself in energy and set their hearts on acquiring the regions of Brahmins. Thus had been recited by me as heard in the Purana of progeny of the gods and the Asuras, both of great strength and energy. I am incapable, O king, of counting the descendants of these. Countless as they are not much known to fame. And the sons of Vinata were Tarkshya, Arishtanemi, and Garuda, and Aruna, and Aruni, and Varuni. And Sesha or Ananta, Vasuki, Takshaka, Kumara, and Kulika are known to be the sons of Kadru. And Bhimsena, Ugrasena, Suparna, Varuna, Gopati, Dhritarashtra, and Suryavarchas, the seventh Satyavarchas, Arkaparnas, Prayutas, Bhima, and Chitraratha, known to fame of great learning and a controller of his passion, and then Kali Siras, and O King Parjaya, the 14th in the list, Kali, the 15th, and Narada, the 16th. These Devas and Gandharvas are known to be the sons of Muni, Daksha's daughters, as mentioned before. I shall recount many others, O Bharata. Anavadya, Manu, Vansa, Asura, Marganapan Parya, Anupa, Subhaga, Vasi were the daughters brought forth by Pradha, Siddha, and Purna, and Varhin, and Pranayus of great fame. Brahmacharin, Ratiguna, and Suparna, who was the seventh. Vishwavasu, Bhanu, and Suchendra, who were the 10th, were also the sons of Pradha. All these were celestial Gandharvas, and it is known that the Pradha of great fortune, through the celestial rishis, Kashyap, her son, bought her, her husband, bought for the sacred. And it is known that this Pradha of great fortune, through the celestial rishi Kashyap, her husband, brought forth the sacred of the Apsaras, Alam, Alambusha, Mirakshavi, Vidyutparna, Tilotma, Aruna, Rakshariti, Rambha, Manorama, Kesiki, Suvahu, Surata, Suraja, and Supriya were the daughters, and Ativahu and the celebrated Haha and Huhu and Tumburu were the sons, the best of Gandharvas, of Prada and Amrita. The Brahmins, Kain, and Gandharvas and Apsaras were born of Kapila as stated in the Puranas. Thus has been recited by me the birth of all the celestial creatures duly of Gandharvas and Apsaras, of snakes, Suparnas, Rudras, and Maruts, of Kain and of Brahmins blessed with great good fortune and sacred deeds. And this account, if read, exceedeth the span of life, is sacred, worthy of all praises, and giveth pleasure to the ear. It should always be heard and recited to others in a proper frame of mind. He who duly readeth this account of the birth of the highly souled creatures in the presence of the gods and Brahmanas obtaineth large progeny, good fortune, and fame, and attaineth also to the excellent worlds hereafter. With this, we come to an end to this section of Mahabharat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, this is your host, Madhulika Rajahan, signing off. Stay healthy always. Narayan Narayan.